Welcome back, session 7 to our rooted time together.
Enjoying this, yeah.
I know, we're almost like rooted right here around this small table right here together.
Rooted.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying your groups and kind of getting to know each other.
Yeah.
I've really had a great time in my group. Just some of the folks have been like new people, but also some of the people I've known for quite a while, but getting to know them better, it's awesome, man. So yeah, that's great.
The connection you make is really brilliant.
It really is.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's as much important as material cover.
It is.
It's
the both and, right? And so I hope you're doing that, and it's not too late. Invite somebody, come, let's hang out. We'll do it together. It'll be great. Okay, so session 7, and this is, of course, the part 2, how we're thinking about serving. How can I make the most of my life? Might as well, before this life is over, that we do something good. Yeah. So I'm just going to have Brian jump right in, and we'll go through this together. Session 7, Brian, take us in.
Yeah, so Lives Making a Difference, part 2. So they felt it's important enough to have like 2 whole sessions about this. And if you haven't done it yet, and you should have, or at least this week, probably doing your service project, hit page 134 in your book here, and that gives you the description. If you haven't done it yet, I hope you have, but it gives you some better description of of how to serve, what you can do to serve. And we kind of mentioned this last week, Keith. You remember that we talked about the idea that we can't hold on to anything. We have to give it away in order to keep it or to gain.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we're saying the same thing about our spiritual, let's say, health.
Yeah.
We don't serve as a project.
Yeah.
We need
an obligation.
Exactly.
It's not an obligation, except to our, except in that we want to become servants. But yes, it's not a begrudging obligation.
Right. And best is it turns into a lifestyle of service.
That's right.
Because then we can be God's, how we say, presence or work on this earth through our lives.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's really what we're trying to say in these lessons here. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the studies this last week. I think I got quite a bit out of it. And we're going to talk about your spiritual gift results here, and I hope you did that and you found out something about yourself. We're going to change up a little bit what we do. Before we've normally done the questions I have you discuss and then out of the book. I'm going to reverse that order this week.
Okay.
And so share your responses with each other out of the daily studies that you did. First place I want you to go to is page 143 in your book, and that day would have been hands-on love. And answer these 3 questions, which are: where have you seen Jesus disguised as someone in need? And what was your response? Isn't that something? Jesus disguised.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Second one is, were you ever on the receiving end of another person's help? What did that tell you? What did that person's actions tell you about them? Right, very revealing. Okay. Third one is, where are you more comfortable serving, in the church or in the community?
Yeah.
And then why is that? God plants us in places, roots us in places, and we have to just be careful that we don't assume it's a certain place. All right. Okay. Then turn to page 147 and discuss your answers. Symbiosis. Do you know how to pronounce that?
Symbiosis.
There you go.
I do. Okay.
I read that and I go, I know that word, but
yeah.
Symbiosis. Okay, that's page 147, aka give and take. Okay. Share your answers for the first bullet point, which was, how does this definition of poverty change your view of those in need? They really dig into that definition. And the second one is, what is your reaction when you encounter situations of injustice? Okay, and the third thing I'd like you to discuss is your answers for page 150, a lifestyle of service. What are obstacles to a lifestyle of service that you have experienced? Okay, so share a little bit about yourself of what difficulties have you had in serving. All right, so discuss those, maybe pause, and then turn the video back on. And now here's kind of the fun part.
Okay.
Okay, this is the spiritual gifts assessment, and these are mine. You probably won't be able to see the answers on it. And I want you to bring it this week. If maybe you don't have the hard copy, pull it up on your phone if you saved it, or on your computer, whatever. This will be a fun thing, and I might even advocate, because I want you to share your results with each other. I might even advocate, hand it over to the guy on the left or the right.
Oh man, I feel like I got the power.
I got the power. Yeah, the keys to the kingdom.
I got the keys.
Have them share about your answers and let everyone hear. Sometimes it's good to hear from someone else. It adds a little bit of legitimacy to hear, someone.
Absolutely.
It's not praise, but it is saying, this is a truism about you. This is something that's true about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
So share with, and take the time that everyone gets the opportunity to share their own results. You'll see that they break it down. Actually, they break it down really smartly. They give you a short description of it, and then just all of your results, and they break it down thematically to say sort of where you might resonate or the rhythm of your life might be the strongest in your gifts, and then it gives you, last part of it is a synopsis or a sort of a summary of all your gifts all together laid out. That's the summary right there.
Of spiritual gifts. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're pretty low on that one there. No, don't tell anyone.
No.
So take time to share that, but here's what I want you to do with that when you share, is the first thing I want you to ask yourself, however you do that, or ask each other, is this: do you recognize those gifts in you? Yeah.
It's good.
Because it's a big deal. Someone can say it, but do you think you see it? All right. And if they're true, and they probably are, more than likely, may not be 100%, but it'll be in the ballpark.
Okay.
I've never had one of these. It's not
Yeah.
somewhere in the ballpark. If that's true, then here's your next question. This may be the more important question is, what do you think God's calling you to? Right? It gives definition
Yeah.
of what God would have us to, okay? So take some time with that. Have a little bit of fun with that, right?
Good. No,
You've gotta give me-
I
you gotta give me those
no
back.
way, man. I'm going to look at this.
So, and when you're done, then just know that tomorrow we'll start your next session. Here is where we're going to start change a little bit, start to move on.
Yeah.
And you'll start at page 158, and you answer the questions for how does God view money? Uh-oh, now you're missing my pocketbook. Now you're in danger.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does address in a very smart way our hearts towards money more than the dollars and cents of it all.
Yeah.
So page 158, start that this week. All right.
Okay.
There you go.
Awesome. Good. All right, let me look this over.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, evangelism, knowledge, service, wisdom, teaching, mentoring, discernment, encouragement, administration, leadership, faith, apostleship, shepherding, prophecy, wow, mercy, hospitality, giving, and then here's the overall, you know
Yeah,
what?
look at that.
This says you're Jesus, man.
No, don't say that. It says you need
You're
help,
the
my friend.
Lord. You're the. Does Claudia know this? Does your wife know that this is, you rank this high on
No, she
you?
doesn't know that, yeah. She don't know.
No, that's great. It's interesting though, looking at it, knowing you. This is interesting how accurate, you know, it really is. And always we have a tendency to look at the weaker parts or whatever, the lower things. But honestly, this is awesome.
Well, you know what my tendency is with these types of things is I'll dismiss the obvious. Right. Because I don't necessarily see it myself.
Right.
But like I said, these things are usually pretty much in the ballpark.
Right.
And what it means actually is that the Lord wants to develop that in you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's weird that something that God's given you inherently, it's who you are,
That's a good
you'd be less apt to say, oh, yeah, this is really a gift that God gave me.
Exactly.
We always lean toward being critical with ourselves,
Yeah.
and God saying, well, I kind of made you a certain way.
I kind of made you that way.
I kind of made you on
I
purpose.
knew what I was doing in that
There's
one.
that masterpiece at work in you, you know, in you, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm telling your wife how awesome this is.
You can tell her. But more than that, you can encourage me to start using these for the community.
Yeah.
Right? And that's really the end game, right? Is we would take these
Absolutely.
things and say, Jesus has enabled us. He's given us the
sure
gearing
has.
to work in these areas.
Yeah.
So what do we need to do to actually start moving in that gearing?
Yeah. And really, as pastors, people that help other people discover their gift, how critically important it is that you use your gift together with us. None of us are complete by ourselves at all. We really need each other to complete what's called the body of Christ, the family of God, the building, if you will, of the Lord on the planet Earth. The bride is also one of the other terms that's used. And so that's you, and you discovering how God made you is so critical that way. The memory verse I wanted to say, and then we'll finish, you can get on with your group. Matthew 25:40, it's a parable, but in the parable Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, whoever did this for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine did it for me." So the way it is in that parable, and the way you can think about it is, there's so many things all of us would want to do in serving. You see so many needs all around you. You can't be distracted by that. All you can do is serve one person the way you wish you could serve everyone.
That's a good way to say it.
And if you get that down, and the excuse goes away that I can't take care of everything, God didn't call you to take care of everything.
That's good.
He just called you to take care of the one thing, or the one or two things, or maybe that one person that's in your life. But do that. And when you do that, somehow we all fulfill the law of Christ. And that is, we're here to love God and love our neighbor as ourselves. And
Well
so we get to
said,
do
yeah.
that together,
I like that.
okay? All right, man, we're so proud of you. Let's keep going. Keep in mind that I'm going to be teaching on Sunday mornings in rhythm of this. Some of the groups, some of you, maybe your group started a week or two after the rhythm of Sunday morning, but go ahead and use that too to supplement what we're doing. It will encourage you, and if you're on the same pace with what I'm doing on Sundays, then heads up. Let's keep doing it together. It'll be a great time. All right, from Brian and
Yeah.
I, we love you. We're
Love
proud of
you.
you. Have a great group.
Yeah.